Hey everybody, Discount Specialist here. So we are going for our second video in the crafting refining series for New World. So my first video was the woodworking station. What we're going to move into now is the loom. So this is for your cloth products. So once again, this is just about reinforcing what you need as you are planning your different crafting. And so I'm going to be starting with refining. So just like the woodworking station, what we can see here is we have a 4-to-1 ratio for linen. So 4 fibers to 1 linen cloth. And then after we move through linen, we will then be looking at satin, which once again, 4-to-1. One thing nice to note is because the loom is always crafting new cloths, you don't actually need more raw materials until you get to silk. So satin is kind of nice in the sense that it doesn't require any additional farming, but you will need one of your crafting or refining regions. I'm sorry. And as I said in my woodworking video, the higher tier that the refining region is, the better percentage chance you have of getting bonus whatever you're creating. So in this case, we're looking at satin. If I use this, I'll have a specific percentage to increase the amount of satin that I'm going to receive when I refine it. So I may get more than I actually have the mats for. So the higher it is, the better. And it will save you in the long run for having to craft more. So with that said, satin is the next one. So it'll take 4 linen to do that. So what we're looking at here is basically 16 fibers is equivalent to 1 piece of satin, as well as having the refining component. The next one we're going to move on to is silk. So with silk, we're going to need actually silk threads. Silk threads are harvested from silkweed, which are harvested at, I believe, Gathering 100. So you'll need Gathering 100 to move on to silk, as well as having a good supply of satin. So we're going to need 6 of the raw component of silk threads, as well as 2 of the previous tier worth of crafting, and a refining component. So once again, we're getting to that level 100. So level 100 is when we start seeing an increase, our next big increase in raw material requirements. So just like wordwood in my previous video required 6 wordwood raw logs, as well as some additional components to refine. This one's going to require 6 silk threads and 2 satin. And then we have some, I did go over this a little bit in the woodworking one. I'm going to recover it here in case this happens to be the first video you've seen. Material converters are purchased from your faction representative. When you go there, same page that has the armor for purchase, you can get these converters. Just be cautious when you're using them. It's generally better just to farm the refining components, but if you're really in a pinch and you need to craft something, or you really want to craft something, you can get these material converters there. The common one is 100 of your faction points. The next one up is going to be 200, and I believe the masterwork one is 300, but I'd have to check. I think it only goes up by 100 a piece. But this is the page where you're going to do that conversion. You can just you'll have a choice to pick one of your other refining components that you may have a higher number of, and move it over. But I also noted in my the wood shop one that there is talk that that the developers are going to lower the drop rate. So I would be cautious with just converting or selling any kind of refining components, because I am getting quite a bit now. I am a little concerned about that reduction in drop amount that they're talking about doing, because they feel like they're giving away too much when you loot it from chests in different zones. So if you are just getting started, or you've been playing and you're just looking for some other information, and you don't know about that, refining components are very, very, very important. Keep them and cautiously convert them only as needed. So then let's look into a little bit further than where I'm at right now, but still worth looking into. So the next thing we have is infused silk. As we can see, this requires 2 of our previous crafting requirements, and just like ironwood, we're going to need 8 of the new raw material, which is wire fiber. This is going to be harvested at gathering 175. So this is our top tier cloth. So good to note. And that's kind of a trend in New World. So we also have, once again, wire weave. That's going to be our big resource, refining resource. I don't have any in my inventory right now, but it drops quite often at, I think, 55 and above is when you're going to start seeing a lot more of this, definitely 60. And then we have Phoenix Weave. So this is our epic tier 5 cloth material. Once again, haven't gotten to play with this yet. A lot of work's going to go into crafting at max level. So I'm hoping to have more content on what this is specifically used for, some of the more detailed patterns, and their various uses. But to make this, we need 5 infused silk, and then we actually have to get some legendary resources, as well as being required to use wire weave for this. So once again, we got 4 to 1, 4 to 1. Then we go 6 with 2 of the previous refined material, and then we have 8 with the 2 of the previous refined material. So that is the loom for everybody. We're going to do some more. As I said, we're going to go through all the refining in this series, and then we're going to go into the crafting, because I feel like it makes sense to work all our ways through that, because gathering will happen passively, and I will be doing some videos separately on some different gathering routes to work on everything as a whole. But once you've gathered it, you kind of want to be able to plan around, what does it look like to get 1,000 fiber in one rotation of your farming route? Is that really a good amount? What does that look like in the long run? So, I mean, when you're in the first tier, 1,000 fiber, not bad. You're going to make 250 linen. If you're working on linen armor, that's a good amount, depending on what you're crafting in high volume. But when you start looking at it once again being a 4 to 1 again, you're getting 25% of whatever you're farming, and then 25% once again to make satin. Plus, you're going to need the resources, the refining components, to also match that. And then once again, you're eating and then once you're eating into that amount by half. So once you've made it through the first 2 tiers, you then have to calculate, how much you're going to lose, or how much you're going to end up with. I shouldn't say lose. You're not really losing it, but you're cutting it down by a lot. Once you're refining it down to satin, you really don't have much after a run. You're going to have to go out there and get quite a bit of fiber just to build up the satin reserve, so that when you start farming silk threads, you have enough satin to start really producing silk in high enough quantities. And you'll see the amounts you're going to need when we get into the crafting portion, to kind of see why that's important. So with that said, here's the loom. My next video, we're going to probably look at smelting. I think that's another big topic to cover. And then I will see you then. Hopefully this was helpful. Please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and let me know if there's any other information that you have questions about, anything you're interested in that I didn't cover. So hopefully I'll see you next time. Have a great one.